I wrote down a quote from Coach Staley, and she said she has never coached anybody that comes with that much determination when she talks about your style of play. Because like you said earlier, you're used to being a post player who brings the ball up the floor from a very young age. And I mean, that translated instantly into your college style of play. It didn't seem like your style wavered at all. What does it mean to hear like that sort of a compliment from your head coach?
Man, it's funny because you hear a lot of these compliments like from the news and stuff like that. Like Coach Staley is very even keeled. Like to me, like I feel like I didn't hear like the craziest compliments. Like you would hear compliments like, but it would be like with a straight face. Like right. I just feel like
exactly.
So when I would read these things, I'm like, dang, like she really rocking with me. Like, but yeah, we did have like talks in our offices, like, and you know, she would speak life into me, and you know, just always make sure that I was okay. But my determination was definitely something that I was always gonna have, regardless of the situation. Yeah, and just being able to hear those words from, you know, the likeness of Coach Staley, it always just gives you more motivation.
Yeah, definitely, because your role with the team initially was a bit different than others. I mean, we had 3 freshmen in our class who became starters, but you were given more of a bang off the bench sort of role. How did you embrace that? Because I mean, I feel like you thrived in that role, and you definitely were that bang off the bench that we needed. But it's also not easy to be able to adjust to that, and kind of your peers and the people that you see at your level are starting, and then you're taking this other role. So just talk to me about what that was like for you, kind of stepping into that, and like we talked about before, leaning on that trust in the coaches.
Yeah, it's funny because going in I had 0 expectations. Like I was going to college, and I was like, let's see how this goes. Like I didn't even know about like All-Americans or all these different type of accolades that are going on, but I never even thought twice about coming off the bench or doing anything else. Like I just knew that whenever I was gonna go in, I was gonna put in my all, and just being able to, you know, help my teammates out. Like this was coming in, like obviously the year before didn't have the best year, but coming in like we were expected to be a top team coming in early. So just looking around the talent that we already had, like I knew I was going to be fighting, and you know, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, you absolutely did. What were some games that stand out to you during your time? I remember there was a game where she made you point guard for the game, and you went crazy. I don't remember how many assists you have, but you went crazy that game. Are there any like moments or games like that stand out to you in particular where you just felt in your element, and you just felt like you felt that energy? You know what I mean? When you're in a zone like that, people are feeding into you, you're feeding off the crowd. Like, were there moments like that? Was there a specific moment for like that sticks out to you?
Yeah, probably that game, because like she told me I was gonna be the point guard like the day before.
Right.
She's like, and then, like, you know, Coach Staley, like we'll be at practice, and like we'll have like different groups, and like I was always part of the second group, and like we would do like 5-on-0, and she'd be like, okay, LA, like you're the point guard, and I'm like, what?
Like,
we never talked about it.
Right.
It was never even like a situation where like that would even click in my head, and I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. She'll just drop it so slick. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and it was just like, okay, like, and then we're going, and then man, that was so much fun. Like we would get the rebound and we would just go, like we were just out. And I think, you know, that game was just so much fun to me because like I knew where everybody was, and I knew the plays just from the post position, and I knew exactly as a post player where I want the ball. So being able to just flip that into playing to a guard was pretty easy for me. And yeah, I just had so much fun doing it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean that having like, I think it's so funny how she'll just do that. She'll just slickly drop, like just switch up something mid practice, or we'll be in film and she'll be like, oh, and blah 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 blah. And we're just like,
Yeah, we're
okay,
like,
like you don't really, and I think that's a good thing too, because like you don't really have a whole lot of time to think about it. You just have to
yeah,
go. And I mean, when you just rely on your instincts and you just go instead of putting all this thought into it, that's when things actually start to like come together and have and mesh well. So
exactly.
it can be jarring at first, but I like that about her, that
Yeah,
she understands that thinking less will do more for your game.
exactly.
Yeah, but nah, we had a lot of fun memories during our time at South Carolina, and I mean, we had two difficult seasons, our freshman year and sophomore year. Those were quite rough, but then we get to that junior season, and I mean, it looks great from the jump. Like because at this point we're ready to go. Like we had
Yeah.
come off two rough seasons. We're like, all right, like it's our time now. And man, that year was just so much fun. What sticks out to you about that year besides the obvious?
Man, I think just the change of mentality from like your first year going into, because our second year was really the first time we went to the NCAA tournament, right?
Right. Hmm.
So really like going from your first time to your second time, the mentality shift. I remember the first time we were all pretty young and never really been there.
Hmm.
And we were like, dang, this is long. Like, this is hard.
Yeah.
Like we would think that you're just cruising through teams and then you just get to the national championship. Like,
Nah.
no, these
Nah.
underdog teams are ready to fight. And I
Yeah.
remember like it was just so long and we were just like, man, like when is this over? And so
Hmm.
the mentality shift to the junior year, we're like, okay, like we're just getting started. Like, when you get to postseason, like your season really just starts.
Right. Literally.
Whereas we were
Literally. Yeah.
thinking before, like our season is like basically almost done. It's like, no, you can't come in
No.
with that mentality because those are probably the longest few
Yeah.
weeks of your like the whole season. So I
Yep.
think the mentality shift that we had like was pretty evident, and I think that was really my favorite part.
Yeah, definitely. It was amazing to see just our growth, even like you said during postseason, where we all just kind of had that shift. Like, all right, it's time now. Like we're
Yeah,
here. Like we had had some setbacks in these past 2 years, but like it's our time now. And we had Henny and V, and like we wanted this for them, and we wanted it for all the
yeah,
people that were on those teams then that didn't get it. So we had a lot riding on that season. So it was amazing that we were able to make it happen. And I mean, your celebration after we won is still one of my favorite things ever.